Hello dear viewers, a very warm welcome to our channel. It's very good to have you here. In this video, we are going to have a look at all you need to know about bad fuel injectors. Think of a fuel injector as a precise, high-speed electronic valve for exact amount of atomized fuel into the engine combustion chamber or intake port at the exact right moment. This is very crucial for efficient combustion, power delivery, and low emission. A healthy fuel injector sprays fine, conical mist of fuel. Bad fuel injector can drip, stream, or clog, disrupting this delicate balance. Let's go ahead and have a look at some of the common symptoms of bad fuel injectors. You will likely experience one of the following if your injector is going bad. The first thing you will experience is engine performance issues. You could be facing misfire and rough idle. This is where the engine shakes, stumbles, and may feel like it's missing at idle or low speed. This happens because one cylinder isn't getting the correct fuel, causing an imbalance. Sometimes your engine might be hesitating, stumbling on acceleration. When you press the gas pedal, the car starts to jerk and stumble instead of accelerating smoothly. A clogged fuel injector can't spray the needed fuel for a quick response that can lead to hesitation and stumbling on acceleration. The other symptom is you might be having loss of power and poor performance. The car feels sluggish and struggles to maintain speed, especially uphill or under load, as if it is running on fumes. Fuel economy and emission-related problems are also indicative of a failing fuel injector. You might be having decreased fuel mileage. Mile per gallon will decrease. This is a classic sign. A leaky fuel injector drops fuel consistently, wasting it. A clogged fuel injector causes the engine to run lean, making the ECU add more fuel to compensate, also reducing efficiency. You might be experiencing rough smell of gasoline. A leaky external injector or one dripping into the cylinder, which is washing down the cylinder walls, can cause strong raw fuel smell, especially after parking your vehicle. Bad fuel injector can also cause incorrect air-fuel ratio, leading to high hydrocarbon or high carbon monoxide emission. So that will lead to failed emission test. There are also some visual or audible clues that can tell you if the fuel injector is going bad. Well, the first visible indication is a check engine light that is illuminated on your dashboard. The car's computer is very sensitive to misfire and fuel trim issues. Common codes like P0300, which is a random or multiple misfire, P0301 up to P0306, which is a cylinder-specific misfire. For example, P0301 indicates misfire for cylinder number 1. And sometimes you might be experiencing P0171, which indicates system is too lean, and P0172, indicating system is too rich. Engine knocking or pinging can also be caused by faulty fuel injector. A clogged fuel injector, which causes lean combustion, can cause the air-fuel mixture to burn too hot and too early, creating a pinging sound from the engine under acceleration. Ticking or clicking noise can also be heard. While injectors normally make a soft ticking sound, noticeable loud click from one injector can indicate it is failing internally or it is sticking. Starting difficulties can also be attributed to a faulty fuel injector. A severely clogged fuel injector may prevent the engine from starting at all, as there is not enough fuel in the cylinder for combustion. More commonly, it just takes longer cranking to start. So difficulty starting can also be indicative of a fuel injector related problem. Now let's go ahead and have a look at what are some of the causes of fuel injector failure. Well, the first one is clogging from contaminants. If you are using dirty fuel, for example, the number one enemy of a fuel injector is dirty fuel. Microscopic rust, dirt, and debris from a gas tank or fuel lines can pass through the fuel filter, and then that will clog the fuel injector tiny screen, or it might clog the nozzle. So dirty fuel is number one cause of a fuel injector clogging. Infrequent fuel filter change can accelerate this. A clogged fuel filter can't protect the injectors, allowing contamination to pass through. The other common cause of fuel injector failure is internal wear. The injector's precise needle and seat wear over time over millions of cycles, leading to inaccurate fueling and eventually leading to fuel leakage. Electrical related problems can also cause an injector to fail. The solenoid valve, which is an electromagnetic coil that opens and closes the fuel injector needle, it can fail due to heat and age, causing an open or short circuit, and this will make the fuel injector completely inoperative. Sometimes carbon and varnish buildup inside the fuel injector can also be problematic. When the engine is shut off, there is what we call heat that cooks the residual fuel in the injector tip, leaving behind hard carbon deposits that can clog the fuel injectors over time. This is worse with low fuel quality. And poor fuel quality, as we have mentioned earlier, cheap fuel, cheap gas often that lacks sufficient detergent to keep injectors clean, accelerating carbon buildup inside the injectors, leading to clogged fuel injectors as well. Now, how can you diagnose if there is a bad fuel injector in your engine or not? Well, fuel systems are under high pressure. Some fuel systems, extremely high pressure is exerted. So always depressurize the system before disconnecting any fuel line or fuel injectors. So do preliminary check. Scan for trouble codes, for example. Cylinder specific misfire code, if it is registered, that is a great starting point. So scan for a trouble code and go ahead and do visual inspection. With the engine turned off, check around the fuel injectors and the fuel rail for any sign of fuel leakage, any smell of raw gasoline. Then go ahead to simple test. Let's start from the mechanical stethoscope test, for example. Use a mechanic stethoscope, which is used to identify cause of noise, location of noise, or you can sometimes use long screwdriver with handle at your ear and touch the tip of fuel injectors while the engine is running. What you listen for that rapid clicking. You should be hearing a distinct rapid clicking from each one. A silent injector is a dead injector, and a much louder clicking now or irregular clicking also indicates problem. So go ahead and listen for the clicking. If it is extremely loud, that indicates problem. If there is no clicking while other injectors are clicking, that is also indicative of a problem. You can go ahead and grab a multimeter and do resistance test. Disconnect the electrical connector from the injectors and use a multimeter which is set on ohms resistance to measure the resistance between terminals of the injector coil. Compare your reading to the manufacturer's specification. This typically ranges between 10 to 16 ohms for high impedance injectors, and an injector with infinite resistance indicates the coil is open, and one with nearly zero resistance indicates the coil is shorted out, and they should all read very close to the same value as well. Once this test is done, then you can proceed to more advanced test. For example, do a fuel injector balance test. This is a professional test that will measure the pressure drop in the fuel rail as each injector is fired. A slow pressure drop indicates a clogged injector. Fast drop indicates a leaky injector. You can also go ahead and do a bench test once injectors are removed. Sometimes measuring the leakage volume of every injector will also tell you if there is a problem with the injector or not. If you find out that one injector return fuel is very much higher than the rest, it indicates that that fuel injector is clogged and not injecting fuel into the cylinders. Some fuel injector problems might be fixed by simply using a fuel injector cleaner. Some fuel injector cleaner solutions can run through the fuel system via a specialized machine, bypassing the fuel tank, and that can clean any carbon deposit or clogging material inside the fuel injectors. And sometimes fuel injectors might be required to be cleaning by using ultrasonic fuel injector cleaners. Injectors are removed and placed in an ultrasonic bath that uses sound wave to violently shake carbon and varnish loose. They are then flow tested again. This is a very highly effective method of cleaning fuel injectors. The advantage is that it can restore the fuel injector like new performance for a fraction of the cost of a replacement. Now the disadvantage is it requires removing the fuel injectors and won't fix any mechanical or electrical failures as well. When it comes to fuel injector replacement for electrically failed injectors or internally worn out leaky fuel injectors that cannot be cleaned and repaired, you should go ahead and replace. Replacement usually is done in set. It is often recommended to replace all injectors at once, especially in high mileage cars. If one has failed, others are likely near to end of their lifespan as well. Always use O-rings and seals. Buy new original equipment manufacturer approved parts or from a reputable market. And then some injectors might require coding and programming. On many modern cars, new injectors must be coded, programmed into the ECU using a diagnostic scanner, or the ECU can compensate for minor manufacturing variances. So these are some of the things that you can do if your fuel injector is failing. Always remember, prevention is key. Use top-tier gasoline. Brands that meet top-tier detergent standard help keep injectors clean. And change fuel filters very regularly. Follow your manufacturer's recommended intervals. If the fuel filters are regularly replaced, then more likely fuel injectors will be receiving clean fuel. And don't run on fumes. Always keep your tank at least quarter full to help prevent sediments from being sucked into the fuel pump and supplied to the fuel injectors. And don't forget to use quality fuel injector cleaners. If you suspect that fuel injector performance is going down, you can use a reputable cleaner, and you can apply it every 3,000 to 5,000 miles, which can help prevent carbon buildup inside the fuel injectors. Well, dear viewers, that is all we have for you regarding some of the things that you need to know regarding a bad fuel injector. If you find this video helpful and if you like what has been presented, please do smash the like button, turn on notifications so that you will be the first to get notified whenever we come up with another video. Until then, stay safe.